Good morning. Welcome to Apple Park. At Apple, design has always been fundamental to who we are and what we do. For us, design goes beyond just how something looks or feels. Design is also how it works. This philosophy guides everything we do, including the products we're going to introduce today and the experiences they provide. From the magical listening experience with AirPods to the ways your Apple Watch keeps you healthy, active, and connected, to how iPhone helps you with so many things throughout your day. It's also true of our new software design featuring our innovative liquid glass. It brings fluidity, vitality, and flexibility to the things you do every day. It's absolutely gorgeous and delivers a more intuitive and delightful user experience. We bring so much care and consideration to every detail. From every product, service, and technology we create to the welcoming nature of our retail stores, design is at the core of everything we do. Today, we have a huge day of announcements about AirPods and Apple Watch, and we're taking the biggest leap ever for iPhone.
Hi guys, I'm Dave from Apple Tips, and as you saw from the intro I put earlier here, which is the intro of the Apple September 9, 2025 event, Apple released new AirPods, the AirPods Pro 3, new Apple Watches, the Apple Watch Series 11, the Apple Watch SE 3 and Ultra 3, and a new lineup of iPhones, which include a new model, a completely new model, the iPhone Air, which is even more thin than the Samsung Edge, the newest Samsung model, the S25 Edge. So, in this video I'm going to cover all the new features of those things, and I am going to also tell you the prices and technical specifications like that. So, enough yapping from me, and without further ado, let's get started. So, I want to make this video as short as possible, and to do that I will need to focus on three most important things. So, these are the new features, the price, and whether do I think they are worth it or not if you're coming from certain models. So, without further ado, let's start talking about the AirPods. So, let's talk about the new AirPods that Apple released. So, Apple released the third generation of AirPods Pro, which are actually the most popular in-ear headphones that you can buy right now. So, Apple added this specific new features. So they added live translation, which will help you if you are talking with people from a foreign country and you have your AirPod inside your ear. Your AirPod will lower their voice, so it will help you to focus on the translation and not their voice. And in order for you to communicate with them, you're going to hold your iPhone like this in front of them, and the translation from what you're saying will be transcribed on your iPhone. All of these are possible with the help of Apple Intelligence. And this is what I'm going to talk about, this new live translation feature. So, the next feature now are new type of ear tips. So, if you're familiar with the AirPods Pro 2 that I actually use, I'm using the Lightning version, but they are basically the same as the USB-C version, just they are charging by Lightning. So, you see those ear tips that you have in front of your AirPods. on your new AirPods Pro 3 you'll have foam ear tips, which they were a thing before with third-party manufacturers such as Pro. I'm not sure how it's called, but it's something with Pro. I'll tell you at the end of the video. So they are made out of foam, memory foam, which will help you have a comfortable fit in your ear. And speaking of comfortable fit, Apple wants to make your AirPods even more comfortable by giving you more options with the ear tips. So if you are used to the AirPods Pro 1 or AirPods Pro 2, you will have in a box 3 different type of ear tips. So you'll have a small, medium and large. Now you have 5 types of ear tips. I'm not sure their name, but they are coming from the smallest to the largest that you know and most of you use. Personally, I think I'm okay with the medium one. I've been using the medium one since I've bought the AirPods around 3 years ago or something like that. I'm not sure, I don't quite remember that. I bought them when they were new, they were released with the iPhone 14 and stuff. Anyways, and I don't think that it's very useful in my opinion, but for some people it will certainly be very useful, and I can guarantee you that. And the fact that the new ear tips are made out of memory foam is not something new, because we already had that with other third-party manufacturers. And you can also get black ear tips, either memory foam or silicone, from brands like that. So, moving on, or our next new feature. Our next and third new feature is Apple promising us more battery life, which in my opinion is nice, but without testing the battery life we won't know if that is true or not. So the AirPods Pro 2 that you can see here, they were graded around 6 hours of battery life after one charge, and right now Apple is promising us 2 hours more with 8 hours after one charge, or 10 hours if you're using just the hearing aid feature. So that's something that we have to test in order to know if it is really true or not. And also, for our fourth feature, Apple said that the case and the AirPod itself will be slightly smaller and made slightly differently in order to fit your ear better. Apple actually focused on making them more comfortable than the Pro 2 that I have here in my hand. So that's something that we have to test in order to know if it's true, but I can guarantee you they are slightly smaller. There's something that they actually did back with the AirPods Pro 4, because they made it smaller and slightly changed the form factor to make them more comfortable. So they are actually chasing this more comfortable type of thing. So this is everything that I can remember about the AirPods, and I forgot something that I'm going to tell you right now. So now your AirPods, like your Apple Watch, can and will be able to track your steps, your blood sugar pressure and health stuff like that. I'm not going to get into these informations, but you can check them out at the official apple.com/AirPods Pro 3 website. So, this is everything that is new with the new AirPods Pro 3. Actually, I have the Pro 2 here, but you know what I mean. And moving on with chapter 2 of our video, the Apple Watches. There are 3 models actually. Let's get on to it. So, Apple actually introduced 3 new models of the Apple Watch. So, they introduced the most affordable to the most expensive, the Ultra. So, we're going to start with the most affordable and we're going to go to the most expensive, the Ultra 3. So, Apple started with the Series 11 actually, but I'm going to do it differently and I'm going to start with the cheapest one, the SE3. So most of the new features in here are not very significant, but I think they are nice. So if you want to compare the Apple Watch that I have with the latest models, they won't come near because I have the Series 8, which is almost 4 years old. 3 years old actually. I'm sorry. But I think it's a pretty solid choice even now on the used market too. And I don't really have much problems with this one. So, but this video is not about this and it's about the new models. So, Apple released a new version of the SE, the SE3. The SE3 has new and more advanced features like wrist tilt like that or double tap, which is not really a thing with the 8 either. So that will make it a better choice than the Series 8 that I have. And they also finally added always on display on the SE, which I think is a very annoying thing if you don't have the always on, because without always on you'll have to press your digital crown like that just to see the time, and with always on you can just look at it. And I think it's a pretty nice feature in my opinion, but everyone has their choice. And as much as I remember, this is everything new with the Series SE3. Sorry, not Series, the SE3. And now we are going to move on to the Series 11. And before moving on, I want to actually make a point here again that I forgot when I talked about the AirPods. So Apple, after, I know, almost 10 years that they've been releasing AirPods, they didn't make a black version, not even now. We're stuck with the white one, as usual, no black version, which I think is a very big deal breaker because almost everything in my camera gear bag, for example, is black. I actually have the iPhone 16 Pro on the gold color, the Desert Titanium, but I don't really have anything on white to match the AirPods, which is a big deal breaker in my opinion. And I also have here in my studio the Magic Keyboard and the Magic Mouse, which I think that they should be black too. And don't get me wrong, I know that the mouse actually exists black. I like it, but I will not get it because I prefer the one with the batteries, and the keyboard too. But when it comes to the keyboard, only the numpad version has the black version, which I don't like because numpads are not really my things. I hate them. They take a lot of space on my desk and I don't really like it. So, moving on with the next Apple Watch, the Apple Watch Series 11. So, like last year, with the Apple Watch Series 11, we get two finishes, the aluminum finish and the titanium. So, now let's move on to the features of the Apple Watch Series 11, which is a set of useful features and a set of useless features. We're going to talk about the useless ones and the useful ones after. So, and I'm sorry for the bad audio quality that I may have right now because I'm on the on-body camera microphone because my lavaliers receiver died, which is unfortunate, but I have to continue with the video. And let's continue. So, Apple added 3 useless features and some useful ones. So the useless features are 5G connectivity, which, don't get me wrong, I thought they were already a thing with the Apple Watch, but apparently they weren't. I didn't know that. It's okay. They added a stronger style of glass, which it's useful in a way, useless in another. I don't know. I don't think it will be as scratch resistant as it actually should be, like sapphire, but doesn't matter. And they made it slightly thinner, making the Apple Watch Series 11 the thinnest Apple Watch ever made. And now moving on to the actual useful features, we have a set of health features, health monitoring features, which makes the Apple Watch able to monitor and detect high hypertension or high blood pressure, which is very useful. And the Apple Watch is able to track this stuff by using the information that it collected from 30 days prior of you wearing your Apple Watch. So in the last 30 days your Apple Watch will collect the data and it will make different suggestions and stuff like that about hypertension or high blood pressure. So, also a new sleep score features that use metrics like how you've been asleep on your sleep stages will help you understand better about your quality of your rest. And these features are possible with the new sensors that are implemented on your back of the Apple Watch, and these are the actual useful features. So I know the Apple Watch on paper and actually on some things, on some scenarios in reality, it's very useful and it's able to really help you if you have health condition, but you have to keep in mind that it actually has some problems when it comes to that. So sometimes when I move this hand too hard, my Apple Watch thinks that I fell and I need help. But really, I'm not trying to mock Apple here, and I'm trying to make people understand that these features are actually very nice and very useful, but they have to keep in mind that they are not as accurate as a professional medical equipment and stuff like that. And the stuff that you saw on the Apple event with the Apple Watch helping people's life, it's actually true. It really happens. The Apple Watch can save your life in critical conditions, but you really should not just count on your Apple Watch. You should really count on your lifestyle and not just on your Apple Watch. Apple Watch may not be able to save you in any circumstance. It might be in some, but not every time will help you. So that's really everything with the Apple Watch Series 11, and now let's talk about the big boy, the Apple Watch Ultra. Let's move on. So really with the Apple Watch Ultra we just get the 5G connectivity and useful features, up to 42 hours of battery life, which I don't know if I believe them, but if it is actually true it will be very useful, but I'm not getting into that information here. I'm just showcasing the features, not testing them. And how would I be able to test them without a device in my hands or comment about them? I don't have the right to. I don't know if it's true or not. Let's move on. It gets a slightly larger display, around 50 millimeters I think, not sure. The black and natural titanium look, and some new colors to the bands and a new band. But really not too much changes with the Ultra. A new Ultra special watch face and stuff like that, but not really as much as the Series 11 has changed. Okay, I know, it gets the same features as the Series 11, but I'm not going to talk about the same health features that I talked about with the Series 11, because I know the Ultra gets them, but you already heard about them. Why would I tell you about them again? Now let's move on to the things that you all been waiting for, the iPhones, and let's continue. So let's talk about the iPhone 17, the normal model, and this time we're not getting the 17 Plus, we're getting a new iPhone Air that I'm going to talk about later. And really with the iPhone 17 we have a new, more advanced front camera which adds the center stage stuff from the iPad, and we'll have a new thing that will help you take selfies in landscape holding your phone in portrait mode, stuff like that, photo related stuff. I'm here for the technical stuff. These videos from the technical stuff, not that much about what you can do with the cameras. And actually some things that I really think that it's very nice they added it and will make a lot of Pro users, of iPhone Pro users, consider switching to the more affordable, the 17. They added the 6.3-inch diagonal OLED display. They added the always on display for the Pro, and wait for it, finally we get ProMotion with the cheapest model, the 17, and we get rid of that 60 Hz refresh rate, and we change it with the 120 Hz from the Pros, which most of us tech creators, tech enthusiasts, and any person related with tech really wanted it, and finally we're getting it, which it's very nice. I love it, and you know what they say, better late than never. And really not too many changes. We have new colors, as you can see here on my screen. Here are the colors of the iPhone 16 Pro, but not very much difference with the design of the phone. There's more on the inside than on the outside. Now let's move to the phone that Apple talked most about, and that is the iPhone Air. So most of the features in here with the iPhone Air are from the normal one, It has a slightly larger screen, a 6.5 inch, which I think is the same size as the 11 Pro Max, but I'm not sure about that, so do not count on that. We are getting a 5.6mm thickness, which I think is thinner than the iPod Nano 7th Gen, but I'm not sure about that. I have to document on that more. We're also getting the always on display and the 120Hz ProMotion refresh rate, and maximum of 1000 nits of brightness, and something that we're not getting with the normal iPhone 17, we're getting the 1 terabyte option, and we're getting Pro iPhone colors here, which it's space black, cloud white, light gold and sky blue, as you can see here on my screen. And also this is the only iPhone this year that is getting the titanium frame, and a first time for Apple, they are placing a ceramic shield on the back. The design is different. I think it's the biggest redesign since the iPhone 10, but we're not talking about the design difference here. And they also made a new MagSafe power bank that I think is only compatible with the Air because it was specifically made for the Air, but I'm not sure if it is possible to use it with any other iPhones. I will document on that more, but we're not talking about that. And I think it is only compatible with that one because the battery is pretty thin and they really had to have a good battery life. Anyways, we're not talking about that right now, we're just talking about the iPhones. That is an accessory that will help you with the iPhone if you decide to get the iPhone Air. But I'm not talking here about if I think that you should get it or not. I will say later if I think it's worth it or not, but that won't happen right now. So this was everything about the iPhone Air. They also for the accessories they brought back the bumper case from the iPhone 4 here with the Air, only for the Air, and they made a lanyard type thing. Not much about the accessories. I don't really talk about accessories here, I'm more of the technical stuff and design stuff. But if you want to get accessories, you can get on the Apple website to see how many new accessories you have with this phone. Now let's move on to the most weighted thing and the most important one, which is the iPhone 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max, which they pack a lot of new stuff. Really with the Pro, they made a unibody design, a aluminum unibody design. They made all of the cameras on the back 48 megapixel with the telephoto being an 8x, unlike the 5x that we have on the 16 Pro and Pro Max. And from 25x digital we get to 40x digital or 45, not sure about that. And they said with the 16 Pro that you have like 7 lenses in your pocket, and with the 17 you have 8 lenses. And they completely redesigned the phone with a unibody aluminum design, not titanium, aluminum, and a glass square on the back to in favor of wireless charging and heat dissipation. Really not too many difference here. most of the features that you see on the other phones, the 17 Pro, the 17 normals, the normal 17 and the 17 Air, are getting into here. We're getting an A19 Pro, which they said, I think John Ternus said that on the event, that you have MacBook Pro level specs in your iPhone, which I'm not sure if I'm going to believe that, because the M4 with the A19 Pro are slightly different in spec wise and size, but I'm not going to tell you that it isn't true. I don't know. It might be, it may not be, but really that's not what I am going to talk about right now. So this time we're not getting a black color with the Pros, we're only getting silver, cosmic, yellow and blue. Here on my screen I have the cosmic orange color. That's the only one I find on the Apple website. And if I scroll down, this is how the enclosure looks like. The unibody aluminum enclosure looks like. And don't get me wrong, I love how it looks like and how it's made, but I kind of preferred a titanium unibody, if you know what I mean. And I forgot to mention with the 17 Air that we're getting a glossy finish on the sides, like with the older Pro models from Apple, 14 Pro, 13 Pro, 11 Pro, 12 Pro, models like that. And this is pretty much everything with the iPhone 17 Pro and the full lineup. The iPhone lineup will still start at $599 with the 16e, which will be still reselling on the iPhone's website, the Apple's website. And this is everything from the new event. And if you want to know everything about pricing, I'm going to tell you right now. So the AirPods are going to still start at $249 like the Pro 2s. The Apple Watch SE3 again $249 like the SE2. The Series 11 will start at $399 like the Series 10 and $799 for a titanium feature out of the titanium frame, again like the the Series 10, and for the Ultra again $799 as you are used to. Now, talking about iPhones, the regular 17 will still start at $799, despite the fact that we are starting from $256 on every model. The 17 Air will have the price of the 16 Pro, the launch price of the 16 Pro at $999 for $256, and 17 Pro and Pro Max will start at $1099 for the 16 Pro and $1199 for the Pro Max, again starting from 256 gigabytes, going up to 1 terabyte on the Pro and 2 terabytes for the Pro Max. And this is really everything about the pricing, and let me tell you what I think about if they are worth it or not. So if you're coming from AirPods 4, 3 or Pro 2, I don't think there is any circumstance that you want to upgrade to the Pro 3s. And You might want that live translation feature, which is useful, but really anything else but that is not really a valid reason. To the Apple Watch, if you have a Series 7 or older, or even the Series 8, you might want to upgrade to the Series 11 or an SE1. If you have an SE1 and you like the affordable stuff, you might want to get the SE3. And if you want to upgrade to any of the iPhone models, and I'm not talking differently about the 17, the Air or the Pro models, if you consider getting either of those models, you might want to get them if you have an iPhone 14 or older. Not the 14 Pro, the regular 14, because it has a A15 Bionic chip, which is pretty old, but the 14 Pro still it's a good phone nowadays. So this was pretty much it with those stuff, the technical stuff, the pricing, and whether do I think that they are worth it. And I hope you like what you saw in this video. If you like what you saw, please hit that like button, subscribe to the Apple Tips channel, share this video with your friends and family, and thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you in the next one.